Well, hello, and welcome to Your Average Bear Gaming. I'm George. I just got back from a business trip, and about the second day of that trip, I got an email alert that says, hey, I've got a package. Who is that package from? Because this is a channel about Warhammer 40k, there's probably only one good reason for me to show you the mail that I got that was sitting there for a couple of days just waiting for me patiently to get back. Here it is, and because of the title of the video, you know what's in here, but let's pretend to be surprised anyway. And look at that. Bazdrogg Nekk-Choppa. One of the two exclusive models you get for subscribing to Warhammer Plus for a full year, and I have it in my hands. In case you're wondering, yes, I have this, and I have the Assassin. The Assassin is the one I signed up to get for free. This is the one I bought because if you do the subscription, you get the opportunity to buy this as well as the other one. So you can buy one of each, or you can buy both. But you can't buy multiple copies of both, at least not now. Maybe Games Workshop will put these on the game store at some point in the future. I don't know if that's the case. At any rate, we have this cool looking Orc model, and I think this Orc is for the Age of Sigmar game, not the Warhammer 40k. Although I suspect you could probably modify this a bit and, add some guns, maybe some grenades, and boom, you got yourself an Orc mech boss. Maybe that's a little sacrilegious. I don't know. I don't play a lot of Orcs, and I certainly don't play any Age of Sigmar, but it's an Orc. You can do what you want with it. Either way, let's open this up and see what's inside. We have a clear view of the box art and looks pretty neat. Plenty of detail, it looks like. Our friendly Orc here even has an eye patch, which makes him 378% cooler. That's just, rough back of the napkin calculations. So, yeah, I could be wrong by like 13% plus or minus. And I've pulled all of those numbers completely from my behind. Taking a look inside, we've got one sprue, one ginormous base, and one instruction manual. And if you look at the back of the instruction manual, this basically confirms for me that this is Age of Sigmar, or at least it's not Warhammer 40k, because this looks very different from Warhammer 40k. The instruction manual says this is a 60mm base, so I think it's probably the size of a Space Marine's Dreadnought. That's kind of scary. Let's take a look at the parts on the sprue. There's not a lot of parts. There's obviously, enough to build the model, but there's not a ton of options, and there's not a whole lot of delicacy here. It's just a big honking Orc, and I kind of like that about him. Here is the Orc body, at least, parts of it. It's molded in such a way that it has, it's not a full torso, it's not even a full leg. The things are kind of, they're joined. I'm not going to say arbitrarily. I'm sure there's some algorithm that maximizes the space on the sprue, and also cleanliness of mold line, like pulling this off of molds. I don't know exactly, but at any rate, you've got the body, and I just want to point your attention to this detail here. So this is the leg armor. You've got the kind of the knee thing here. You have the sabaton here, and it has a texture to it. This isn't smooth armor. It looks like hammered, roughly hammered metal, which we would expect from this, not only from this setting, right? It's kind of like a high fantasy setting, but it's also an Orc. You would expect a bit of ramshackle from an Orc, and I think they've captured it beautifully with this texturing. You could almost even get away with making this like a stone thing. That'd be a cool take on this armor, but either way, it's a big boy. Here you see the other leg, and you'll see the same kind of texture happening there. I think that's really, really cool. We have the back of this orc's armor. Similar kind of deal, but on the inside, you can kind of see like padding and fabric, which I think is a really nice touch. You have this little stuff right there. It looks like chainmail, which is nice and detailed, and it's sharp detail too. It's not soft detail. You'll be able to accentuate this with some dry brushing if you want to make it kind of emphasize a chainmail effect. We have this part right here. I'm not 100% sure what this is, but I think it's the bracer. So this is the armor that goes over the arm. So the flip side here, you'd see that the arm would go in here. It's really hard to see in the box art because every time it's posed in such a way that this is facing away from the camera, but it's still got that nice hammered feature, the texture, and it's got some rivets, and it's got this kind of primitive looking skull thing, pretty nice. You have this back of the armor along with this fabric stuff. It's like rope or string, or actually it could just be links of chain, which makes this model even more menacing. That's really cool looking. I've never seen anything quite like it. It's got some adequately orky tusks here, and of course that hammered metal texture that I've come to know and begin to love. We've got the orc's face right here, and he looks less angry and more like he's having a freaking blast. Look at him. That's got to be like yeah, I get the crumps and yumies. I'm 100% sure that's what's going through his brain. And you can see he's got an eye patch there on the left. It's a really nice touch. Here's the arm that's holding this. I don't know what this is. I don't think it's a grenade. I think it's a dude's helmet, and this is the kind of the hair plumage of the helmet. Appropriately gruesome. This looks like a chest piece with obligatory skull and horns. We've got this part right here. This is the standard, the battle standard. Very, very orky, very tribal, very cool looking, and very ornate. It's got lots of little details there to get in there. We have this. These are some horns that go on the breastplate of this orc's armor. Nice. And I've been saving the best of these things for last. Here is a knife, a cleaver. It looks kind of like an onyx blade, but obviously it could also be just poorly smithed metal, but it looks sharp, it looks menacing, and there's lots of detail here. This is going to take dry brushing really easily, and it's going to make it look really nice. And then you have this huge axe. Again, that textured kind of theme is present on this axe head. It looks beautiful. It's got some orky spikes, and then some more detail here, kind of the leather wrapping on the other side. You see the very nicely detailed hand on the orc. It's a little delicate, and that's nice. The rest of the orc's arm, it's a real beauty in terms of detail and texture and possibility. It's a darn shame I don't play Age of Sigmar and have no intention of getting into that. I need a new thing to buy, like I need an extra hole in my head. I might just paint this anyway, just because it looks cool. I'm not 100% on this. I might do it, but I don't know. If I do decide to paint it, there's a really good chance I'll make a video about it. And if you're interested in learning how to paint this guy to make him look pretty good without spending a ton of time and without having a ton of experience and skill, why don't you hit the subscribe button so that you can hear when that video is released. And if I do it, I'm sure it'll be a blast. There's a really good chance I won't mess this one up, but you won't know if you don't watch the video. Thank you very much for watching this unboxing video. Have a wonderful afternoon. Be nice to yourselves and each other.